Okay, I'm here finally. My eyes are back to normal. I had to have my eyes injected again today. Super fun stuff, but I'm on the mend. So anyway, I made a lot of progress on Ralph the other day, yesterday. Got him together, and one of the things that I decided was that I was not gonna have a foam understructure in the body. I was just going to use the arm, use my arm or use the shape of the arm as the body because I wanted him to be real thin. But I was worried that, see, let me get him all. He's kind of still a chamber of horrors in there, but there we go. There's like very specific places your fingers have to be. Okay, so yeah, so his eyelids work, his mouth works. And I was worried that there wasn't enough structure in here for the arms to attach. And part of that was because it was just really thin fabric. But there really wasn't enough room to put foam in there. I tried it. So let me take you through this process here. Okay, so I have Ralphie's body, which is the same basic. It's just red and made of a fleece as opposed to this kind of weird velour that I have here. So this is what the body looked like without any structure in there. And again, I didn't think there was enough there to hold the arms on. So I had one of the prototype bodies for Strange Pork, and so I thought, well, I'll stick that in there and see what it looks like. This is all done on the purple one earlier today as I was convalescing. So I shoved that up in there, and there's not enough space for it, but it did sort of fit. But it's real tight. And it gave me a little bit of structure, but it's very lumpy, and it's real tight. And I was like, I really don't like that either. But I was going to settle for that because I thought I needed the structure. And I liked it a little bit better than what I had for just the arm. So I was laying on the couch, waiting for my eye to get back to normal. And I happened upon an old video of Adam Savage's where he and Becky somebody were making these portable dress forms out of the stuff called Foss-Shape. And I remembered that basically what you do is it's this material that looks like felt until you heat it up, and then it becomes it's like a thermoplastic, and it gets all shaped into position. And if you have what they were doing is they were taking this, cutting it out, sewing it into the shape of this dress form, hitting it with a steamer, and then it become rigid, and then it had a zipper on the side, and then you could collapse it into a little dress form that you could take to conventions. When this video had been online, probably a year earlier, maybe 2 years ago, when it first ran, I bought some because I was working and I thought, oh, this stuff looks pretty good. This Foss-Shape. I got the Foss-Shape 600. I got a half yard. Then I got laid off and I never did anything with it. It's just been sitting in a box. So I found it, and the big drawback was that you have to be able to heat it up on a form. But I knew that if I made a form that it would have to be able to hold up to the heat. So I got some floor mat, and I made an arm out of it's actually the same pattern. Where is it? It's the same pattern I used to make this tube here. It's this one. I have about 50 different patterns in here. So it's this pattern. I made it out of foam. It's actually floor mat tubing. I can't get my arm up inside because it's too thick, but it just barely fits. this body. But that's what I want it to look like. But I can't get my arm up inside there. So what I did was got the fa shape. I'm going to make some more. I'm going to make another one of these and show you guys what I did. And this is the big revelation that I made today. So what you do, I took this pattern and I realized this is about as much of the fa shape as I need to use. So it's like a really thick felt. And I think I got it on Amazon. It's been a while since I bought it. And you don't need very much of it. Okay, so let me trace it on here. And so before you heat it up, it's like a really thick felt. You need 2 pieces of it. Okay. Maybe this is old hat to everybody else, but this is what I decided I was going to use it for. Bang my just giving myself a little bit of seam allowance here. Just a second, I'm gonna move this over just a tad because I don't want to get too close. And this stuff does shrink up just a little bit, but which is why I can use the same pattern for all the pieces. All right, so that's all put together. Chat is working. Okay, well, here we go. And you want to back stitch this and make it as tight as possible because once it's heated up, you really can't sew into it. one. Oh, and I totally missed it on that. Well, I'm going to make it a little smaller, I guess. Just has to barely hit it, so. All right, so I'm done with the sewing machine. All right, so now I'm going to cut off all this extra seam allowance, all these threads. Now, ideally, I would have actually sewn right on the line, but this should be okay. So I want to get close, but not on top of the line. It's like a really thick felt. I think people use it to make hats. It's called Fashape. Fashape. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this right side out. And then I'm going to take this and put it right on here. Like a big sock. I need to get it all the way on too, which is okay. So now it's on. And let me go get my steamer. So I'm not sure if you can use your heat gun, but this is what they used in the Adam Savage video, and I had bought one when I did Miss Piggy's hair, so I had it. It's this little, let me make sure I'm not caught on anything here. Okay. Turn that on, get it heated up. See if anybody's even watching this thing. I have to wait for that to heat up anyway, so. Well, I'm broadcasting, so that's good news. Okay, so now this is heating up. You'll start to see steam come out of it. Start to make noise. This is very hot. You can burn yourself with it. Second, it's still heating up. Not that I drink coffee, but I kind of wonder if you could do coffee in this. I mean, you see how fast that went to boiling? It's not quite boiling yet, but it's close. I would have set this up earlier before I started, but I was afraid I was going to knock it over and burn myself. And also burn off all the water. But even with all the delays, we're only 13 minutes into this video, and I pretty much have this body done. I think when I started on the internet, there was a web page where you could watch a bottle of a coffee pot boiling 24 hours a day in Indiana. That was the competition I had when Melonpool started. So now I've come full circle. Okay, it's starting to boil now. You can see it down in here. And there's the steam. Okay, so now all I have to do is hit this with steam. So let me hold this in such a way that I don't burn myself. And what this does is it stiffens it up. It actually becomes almost like a cross between felt and plastic. And you can burn it, and you can actually do it too much where it burns. But when I made the first one, I didn't have that problem. In fact, there were some areas that were still a little that weren't hit enough. So I'm going to really do this one a lot. I don't think I would do this for everybody, but I feel like this is perfect for the really skinny puppets that you don't want it to look like an arm. Like I'm building a snake coming up that I wanted to give it a little bit of structure to part of the body so it didn't quite look like an arm. And I think this might be the way I do it. The nice thing is that the steam is not hot enough to melt the glue that this floor mat, this EVA foam, is glued with, thankfully. But it is enough to activate this faucet shape. I just want to make sure I get all of it this time. I did hit the other one on the inside as well, but I don't think I'm going to do that with this one because it got a little too rigid. I have no idea if you can put the stuff in the heat in your car or whatever, but you shouldn't really have your puppets in the heat of the car anyway because the whatchamacallit, the hot glue and the contact cement will also not do very well. Okay, so I think, let's see. Okay, so it's got a different texture to it now. Let me get a little bit more up here. Okay, I think that's done. All right, so now I'll let that cool a little bit. I got this fabric cone. And all I had to do was kind of get it off here, which was actually pretty easy. You just have to kind of squeeze it a little bit, and it should pop right off. There we go. All right, so now this thing, it's kind of like plastic, and you can trim it a little bit. It doesn't trim very easily, but you can kind of trim it just a little bit. But okay, now I'm gonna hit it a little bit more. I said I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna put a little bit of heat on the inside of this thing too. Okay. All right, so now okay, now it's I got this. I get my arm up inside. It's got the structure I want. I can put the arms on it, and there you go. So anyway, so what I discovered, I think, is a way to make a thin body that has some structure to it, that is still like the foam doesn't take up all the room in there. And that's using this product called Fa-Shape, which I need to buy more of, because I think I can see a use for using this to not only make the bodies, which, you know, it's I mean, it's not as rigid as a foam body would be, but it is more rigid than just the fabric, and it's going to be perfect for getting these arms on. I mean, I can actually pin into this now. These posts are, yeah, see? That's, oops. It's not pinned on very well because I got this post on here that I can't use, but here I can. Yeah, here we go. So now, you know, I couldn't do that with the regular fabric because it wasn't strong enough. So that's my tip for today. Hopefully that's helpful to somebody. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube as to what this stuff is called, and where I bought it. And hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Again, this is the 600 weight of the Fa-Shape. I think they make more or less, but they said in the tutorial that I watched, the Adam Savage one, that the 300 wasn't dense enough to keep its shape for this much material. So, all right. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you did, I don't know if anybody did, but again, hopefully that was helpful. See you tomorrow.